As you can see, I'm bald. Just kidding, I just got out of the shower. I'm so tired. I think the notification just went out, so we're gonna wait. I'm not gonna be here very long. I just wanted to take a break from the massive amounts of preparing that I've been doing. Shh. Hi, and Citrus is trying to get involved. I am so exhausted. Towelhead, I wish there were more people helping, but it is what it is. I'm sorry, yeah, some subs expired this week, man. I'm really not gonna thank you for subscribing, Mariah. I'm really not gonna be here that long. I am overwhelmed, but I just wanted to come in here and say hi for a little bit. I don't know how long I'm gonna be here, but I have a show to go to because my brother's in a play later. I have finished with most of the actual packing. I have a lot of cleaning to do. Including cleaning up after those freaks. I'm not sick. No, I'm not sick. I don't think I'm sick. I'm going back to college. No, I don't. Yellow yesterday called me during Shannon's live and started naming things in his house that he thinks are shorter than me. I'm going back to Seattle for now. I'm planning, this was always the plan that I was gonna try and transfer halfway through the school year, not at the beginning. So, yeah, we're going back for a little bit. God. There's been so much to do. I've packed everything but my backpack, and that's for the plane. And I need to leave at 4:30 in the morning. Tomorrow night. Technically tomorrow, but, tonight if I don't get enough sleep, which I won't because I normally go to bed at 2, which is not smart. There's birds. I'm not going alone, but I'm doing a lot of it alone. My dad's coming with me so that we can check more bags and stuff, and plus he has an office there that he has to go to. But, all the packing, unpacking, and, happy birthday, Emmy! Packing, unpacking, and moving stuff, that's all gonna be me, and I gotta figure out storage unit situations. What I'm saying is, it's a shitty day. This time tomorrow, I will be in Seattle, hopefully mostly moved in. I realized my back is awful, so I actually just added, right before I went live, a posture adjuster to my throne, because I've noticed today that I have pain when I shouldn't. I'm hoping that a lot of the stuff I left there in packed boxes is in specific boxes, because I don't actually have room for all the stuff that's in the storage unit, which is another stressor here. Because, there's a storage unit full of stuff, and my room this year is smaller. It's okay, Brooklyn, don't do it again. Nope. We were on Shannon's live, and she goes, "Did you tell Shannon how you jumped for joy when she liked your comment?" I said, "Brooke, shut up." I'm not okay, but I'm hopefully going to be okay. It's just an endless cycle of burnout and then more demands, and I did call UPS because they're trying to bill me for something I didn't receive, and it's over $100, and I don't know what to do about that. Whatever. I need to schedule a doctor's appointment because now that I'm not going to live here, and now that I'm not a kid, my pediatrician, I can't go back to her to get my ADHD medication, so I have to find a whole new doctor. And I need to figure out my application because there's deadlines right now for the school that I'm applying to go to, much less the school that I'm already at. And it's all today. So, yeah. I hope not to take a break from streaming. Streaming is my break a little bit. I have not had my daily boba. I should not have caffeine today because I took my pill and it's gonna be a bad day if I do that. Happy The Last of Us Day. Happy The Last of Us Day. Yeah. Did I come on here just to complain? A little bit. But no, there's not really a but for that. Okay. Will I be in a dorm or an apartment? A dorm. I like school. I don't like moving to school. I don't know why I didn't go in state. I do know why I didn't go in state, but every time it's time to move, I'm like, is it worth it? Because holy hell. 5 suitcases, 20 boxes, half of it doesn't even fit in that room, but I can't leave it at home because I'm not allowed to. And if it all doesn't fit, then I'm gonna have to pay for the storage unit to keep it there during the school year, which is a couple $100 a month, so that's not cool. But, you're doing bad too? What's up? Oh yeah, about 5 people responded to my story with, I'm gonna steal your stuff. No, you're not. You can pry it from my cold, dead hands. Why don't my parents help me pay for it? I don't know. I don't know where I'm supposed to put any of this stuff. I mean, it's not really their responsibility. Like, technically, legally, it's not their responsibility. So I understand. Hey, Kim. First you wanna kick it in my pimped out Chevrolet. I'm going to one in Seattle. It's a pretty small college. They're running out of money, which is why I'm leaving. Yeah, it's gonna be a relatively short stream. What happened to you, Kim? It's not that he wants to say hi. He wants to be fully involved. She's ill. I hope you feel better, Kim. Bro, I had a dream last night where I was growing hair out of right here. Not a beard, just right here. And it was long and wispy, and I hated it. What happened, Kim? Oh, and my lights went out. Who's my roommate? I don't know yet. Okay, yeah, tell me off stream. Boy. I'm also streaming because I kind of just feel guilty just like sitting somewhere. I look relaxed. Is that sarcastic? Quinn said she's stronger than me. Well, Quinn likes to lie sometimes. Gay bits. Am I gonna what? Am I gonna call the wife after she leaves school? I don't know. I might be in a show. I am doing mediocre. It's just a lot of burnout. It's not even, like, I'm not sick. I'm not physically ill, although there was an incident this morning, but we're not going to talk about that. It's, like, just mental and emotional exhaustion from something simple like packing. I don't think there's anything you can do. I'm just trying to take a break and recuperate my brain. Bonjour. Bonsoir. You have room in your garage for my stuff. You know what? Honestly, if I have to move to California, maybe I'll take you up on that. When did I get back from Cali? A couple days ago. I've been super busy trying to get everything done, and I probably shouldn't have. I actually don't regret that at all, what happened with Shannon. I have zero regrets. But I should have been packing when people told me to pack, and I wasn't. But I am packed now, mostly. Now it's just cleaning, which sucks butt, and is even worse. But I took my pill for the first time. It wasn't like that, but it was funny. I took my pill for the first time in a while, and every time I do, I realize, like, how much I'm kind of fucking up my life a little bit. Not anything to do with Quinn, just, like, the inability to function, like, and, take care of certain things. And, like, I take it today, and I'm like, I can do all this stuff, but it also suppresses my appetite, so, like, I hate ADHD medicine for that reason. Like, if you take it, you don't want to eat. And then if you do eat, it makes you either shit or nauseous. And it's terrible. So I might have to talk to a doctor about that. But I don't have a doctor right now, so that's another thing on the list. My ADHD medication. I'm really good at being productive on it until my back starts hurting. Guys, if you want to see the positive sides of things, don't be on this stream specifically. I am solely here to complain. I might call Kim. I might. I have to think about it. It depends on what happens immediately after the stream. Or how emotionally exhausted I still am. Yeah. Like, my feelings won't be hurt if you don't want to listen to somebody complain for 15 minutes, but, that's what's happening. So, this stream is not probably making anybody feel better. Your teacher should not be smoking during class. Anyways. I'm, like, running out of time, too. My Anna's in town, though. My grandmother from Alaska. So she's been really sweet, and I love having her. She actually lives in Seattle at the moment. I don't even know what else to talk about. I just couldn't do what I was doing anymore. Weed does make you stupid. I agree. How many days until I go to uni? 1. I'm leaving this coming 4:30 a.m. So, I usually go to bed at... Yella just texted me, you're a 6-foot-tall masked lesbian. Why, thank you. That did make me smile. What was I saying? I have no idea where I was going with that. But it is like 2 something, I don't know. I did pack my PlayStation. If you're witnessing right now some of what burnout looks like. So if you relate to that, then you're not lazy. You shouldn't just always placate that, but you're not lazy. I really don't know what to do. Well, yeah, and there's that. Like, long distance is also constantly, like, emotionally traumatizing. It's genuine trauma, relationship trauma to be long distance. It's voluntary. You understand that it's trauma, you're aware that it is. That doesn't change it. Oh, I usually go to bed at 2 in the morning, so leaving at 4:30, I might just not be able to sleep at all. I hope that's not the case, but I have low hopes. Why are you crying? Oh, I guess they can't hear me. I would love for all of you to come over. An ear infection, both ears? I'm sorry. Kimmy, you're really sweet. Unfortunately, I hate tea. Unless it's boba tea. It won't be long until me and Quinn get to be together. Yeah. I hope. Another part of it is that we never know when the next time is going to be. I want to come home for my birthday, but I don't know when my classes are. It's just, there's a lot in the air right now. Like, in every aspect of my life, there's a lot in the air, and a lot of uncertainty, and a lot to do. And it's hard. My birthday is coming up. That's true. It's not for a little bit. School, I am excited about that. I was thinking about this morning, and I told my dad about that this morning. He thought it was really sweet. You've been preparing for a while? What are you doing? God. Shall I remove the towel? My birthday is October 17th. I'm also scared for my birthday, like, because I know people are gonna immediately hate on me. Like, that's genuinely a fear I have, like, every day. And so that's another thing of uncertainty. There's a lot of things that... The things that I can control feel hopeless, and the things that I can't control are scary. And I know that this is gonna pass, but it's hard. Yeah. Hate on me for being 20. Yeah, about that, Layla. I'll update you later. It's not a huge thing, but we know it's not 100% true. That's not true. It's not true that no one will. It has been a long day, and it's only like 2 p.m. None of you here will hate on me, probably, hopefully. Taking a break from packing, not from streaming. Yeah, you have to let them hate, but then they, like... There's a difference between if people thought I was ugly and people thinking that I'm a groomer. Like, if people think I'm ugly, I can let them hate. If people think I'm breaking a law, that's a little different. I'm not, and I won't. I haven't. Stop getting involved. But, it's a little harder to deal with. Yeah. Those are the people I'm worried about. Wonky's new name is now Wanky. Why? Thank you for the follow. I am so unmotivated, and it's sucky. I'm kind of like telling myself it's fine because I'm coming on here and attempting to be relatable to other teenagers who might be struggling with the same thing, but honestly, I can't right now. I know we are. And Quinn's mom said so just yesterday. She likes me. She said, unprompted, that we were a really good fit for each other. I can't watch anything right now, Izzy. I can't leave the app or I'll streamline. Hopefully in future moves, I'll be able to have people helping me pack stuff and things. This is the second time that I've done this, and I thought I would be better at it the second time, like packing up all my stuff, getting ready, and leaving a place. Because the first time, I did it all by myself. Like, when I was moving out, I packed up everything into boxes. It was... Nobody was there. And then, the haters are literally just so disembodied words on a screen. Yes. However, again, if they're thinking I broke a law, it becomes more real. But anyways, last time I moved out, they just came to, like, I packed up boxes, put them all in the car. All they came to do was open a storage unit and put the boxes from the car into the storage unit. And so I was like, I can do anything. And now this time I just can't make myself clean. It's awful. Like, my dopamine is so low. I don't know if it's dopamine or serotonin that's supposed to be higher to be motivated. Tell them I said hi too. They're busy. They're all busy. I think being this way makes you seem more real and genuine than really... Oh, thank you, Kim. Oh. Thank you, Kim. That was sweet. And tell your girlfriend I said hi. Yeah, probably wouldn't hurt for both of them. I just, like, don't know what to do for that. Sometimes you're just kind of stuck. I tried showering. That usually works, but this time, no. April 1st. No, it won't be a problem. It'll only be a problem for 6 months, but it's my favorite animal. I like dragons, obviously, but I also love deer. I love antlers. Okay. Yeah, I might call the group chat after this. I'm not sure. Ooh, I'm mentally ill. Anywho, I'm sad I'm gonna have to leave the birds and my dog and the cats. Thank you, Layla. Yeah, actually, I'm really grateful for you because now I have somebody to ask these questions to. Layla's like a premium adult. She could teach me how to adult better than my parents. Low-key. What do I do? I like otters. I spent a lot of time with otters since I lived in Alaska. Bye, Yella. I do like dinosaurs. I didn't think I liked dinosaurs for the longest time. Like, my whole life, I haven't really cared about dinosaurs. And then, you know what it was? Unironically, somebody going, yeah, autistic people love dinosaurs. And I was like, I'm autistic and I don't like dinosaurs. So I looked into dinosaurs just to prove them wrong. And now I'm plotting how I could survive in each prehistoric period. What is that? Okay. I love evolutionary stuff. Like, I watched full documentaries while I was packing about why, you know, apes can't evolve into us and how we came from them and, like, all the missing links and the different types of human beings. Citrus, this doesn't involve you. Your evolution stopped. You got the survival skills of a packing peanut. This bitch. Let's talk about nerdy things, sure. And I miss my girlfriend. Thank you so much, Osi. That's very sweet. Thank you. I recently watched a thing. What nerdy subject? Okay. Oh no. Oh, that was close. I dropped my phone on my hand and almost ended the live. Wait. Ryan, comment with my friend. Well, Kim, I have great news. There are a lot of listeners here. But, let's see. Do you guys know why? So a big talking point for Christianity is, well, if we came from monkeys, then monkeys would still be evolving into us. Like, why don't apes keep evolving into like Amazon tribes? Like, why aren't there new humans every once in a while, you know? Like, why aren't they getting any closer at all? And I never super had a reason for that. Like, I never super had an answer for that, and I was so excited to get an answer for that. Yes, Houdini, I swear to God. Anyways, the real answer for that is that monkeys and us come from like one common ancestor. Instead of us and them being like there before us, we're cousins. And so the Australopithecus, which was the first upright walking ape, was that, yeah, exactly. Like, it'd be like if your parents had kids and then you and your sister each had a few kids, and then they had kids, and then those kids are looking at each other wondering, why don't you look like me? Why aren't you blonde? It's because we were on different paths, and the original parents are dead, so they can't really create more of our same evolutionary line. Thank you, OC. Thank you. So with that, you know, there were, and it's a tree, meaning we weren't the only branch. So there were other primates on some branches, and some of them were more human-like than others. We were, you know, by definition, since we are humans, we're the most humanoid of what we consider to be human, but there are subspecies of human that went extinct because most things went extinct. Almost every species has gone extinct. Like, very few have ever survived. And honestly, we haven't been around that long, and I don't have high hopes for us. But there used to be, that we know of, more than 14 different species of human. Can you shut your beak? Thank you. Anyways. A lot of them were shorter than us. Some of them were built better than us. The Neanderthals are the most known because they should have been the most successful. Yeah. Kim, actually, like, your height, believe it or not. That's 4'11" is pretty much exactly, yeah. What a lot of them were. There were some that were as short as 3'5", but, you know, they were around, we were some of the tallest. So the Neanderthals, we're not 100% sure why they went extinct, but we still carry a lot of their DNA. Most people still have 1 to 2% Neanderthal DNA. And it didn't survive in us just because of, like, there was a lot of interbreeding, which there was, but it was because of the benefits to it. Like, different colors of hair or better builds, those, or immunities come from Neanderthal DNA. And so those were the genes that were passed down. But also, the only thing is that there was, like, a very, very slight infertility issue. And so their population started to decline a little bit. And then they got outnumbered. And then as resources depleted for both groups, they were just outnumbered. And the few that were left kind of, like, conjoined with Homo sapiens. And so they ran out of, like, quote unquote pure Neanderthals a long time ago. Yeah, blue eyes are genetic mutation. Cockroaches survived. The horseshoe crab has been around for a really long time. Alligators are very ancient. Some kinds of salamanders have been around since the dinosaurs. But yeah, there's a few. A couple species of bird been around for a while, and mostly aquatic things, really.
Nothing big. Kimmins. But yeah, I get excited when I'm reading about other species, because they all sort of interbred before they got too far apart on the evolutionary tree. And so the oldest bird is the dodo. I did not know that, actually. And so there's a lot of, like, what would have been some pretty weird looking humans out there. There are some that we found that are mixes of species of human that don't exist anymore, and we're not one of them. I forget her name. It was a teenage girl found in a cave. I think one of her mom was Neanderthal and her dad was Desovian. But those are two species that aren't. Do I like surprises, or would I rather make a choice? Surprises. Yeah. She was in the news because it was really cool, and it was the first instance of, like, fossilized interbreeding of those two species. And learning about this has made me realize how insignificant our lives are. Like, if we're being completely honest with ourselves, like, we are not at the peak. And that's a tough realization. Like, that's a hard pill to swallow, is that things are going to get better without us, and we will never experience them. Because we can't. Because we have not developed that much. Things are going to get better for mankind. We're going to develop new technologies. We're going to, evolve better. And we will not be a part of that. Nobody watching this, reading this, or probably watching this in the future would ever experience that. Because this will all be gone. And that's sad. But, when you think about a Desovian or a Neanderthal who did never experience, like, an iPad, they couldn't even fathom what that would be. So, that's why we're not sad all the time. But, I want to live in the 1980s. Hi, Ella. Did you guys hear about the Naledi Cave? We are talking about short people, but these people are not people. They're very small. The Naledi were a subspecies of human who, the cave started with it. Dinaledi Cave? Maybe? Oh, wow. That's actually really cool. Thank you, Manu. It starts with a D. The cave name starts with a D, but the species was the Naledi. And they were some of the shortest, and their brains were about a third of the size of ours, and they still invented tools. And they buried their dead with tools. And that is an amazing thing. When you think about it, that means one of two things. One, it's the first sign of us possibly having an idea of, or the first sign of any species possibly having an idea of, like, there might be an afterlife. Like, you would need these tools in the afterlife. Or they're just they're sentimental, and they have the ability to have, they're emotional beings that bury significant tools with the people that died because that tool meant a lot to them. I believe it is the latter. A lot of people tried to prove that it was religious, but I don't believe that it was, because I don't know. I don't have a PhD on this. I just believe that it's more likely that either they just hoped this person would come back to life before burying them, or buried them with that because, like, oh, this meant a lot to you, I have to leave this here. You know, that's an easier concept, I think, for an ape to grasp, or a primate to grasp, than you're gonna need this when you're in a spirit realm. Not, like, it's much more likely that they were like, I really hope you come back. Here's this in case you're back. Instead of, there's a magical land you're going to, but your body's still here. You're gonna need this tool that's still here. Like, that's it. First of all, it doesn't make any sense, and second of all, it's very complicated for something with such a small brain and small development to be able to understand. There would have been no reason for that. These are my favorite types of conversations too. I'm glad to have your support. Yeah. All of recorded human history is so small compared to what human history actually is. Like, we think that, like, okay, the Bible, which was, by the way, not written by anyone who was there in creation. Duh. And also, no part of it was written while Jesus was alive. So I'm just going to put that out there. But it dates back a few thousand years. And then the first things humans ever worshipped was animals in, like, tribes and such things. And recorded language started, like, not that long ago when you think of human existence. Just because there wasn't somebody there to write it down doesn't mean it didn't happen. We're responsible for coming up with that history through I'm gonna kill a bird. It's gonna be you. We are responsible. Are you done? Look at him all proud of himself. That's him right there. He's on the side of his cage. Little bitch. Anywho. The birds are annoying me. I'm gonna miss that one. What? Your life is perfect. Why are you squawking? Love, attention, food, water, sunlight, all of my needs met and entertained all the time. Why? Yeah, he's not in a cage all the time. He's in a cage so he doesn't attack me while I'm streaming. He doesn't just live there. I didn't want him to be a part of this, which is why he's away. But he's making himself a part of it anyway. Anyways, we're responsible for both coming up with hypotheses and both using science and using our technology to come up with the history that no one was there to record. We are not responsible for telling anyone what they should believe. First of all, without telling them why, and without any evidence. You can't just make it up. Like, he does want my attention. A lot of people in religious settings tried to fill in gaps with their religion. I've done it. When I was religious, I did that. The mental gymnastics that you go through before saying, I don't know, are insane. We don't know yet is seen as a direct attack to the church, like, somehow. So when I was like, hey, here's a contradiction in the Bible, like, I was asking, like, my church, I was like, bro, Someone's not getting millet with dinner. Anyways, so I was like, hey, so it says that no one can see God without dying, but like this guy saw him and lived, and it was on purpose. And then a bunch of people talked to me, and it was still the same contradiction. And the only thing that anyone could come up with was, would you really want to worship a God if you could understand every little thing about him? So not understanding is a test of faith. It not making sense is a test of faith. But enough about religion. I don't want to offend anybody again. Anywho, that's really what helped me move away from the church, was learning about the history of both mankind and other animals. Like, how do I describe how I see life now? Because like Earth is like, because we see our lives as so important, and we see everything as so important. Like, this is it. This is the moment. It's not. Our lifespans are are shorter than bacteria in the grand scheme of things. Like, we're just bubbling and creating life and spreading, and then our bubble pops, and there's 50 new ones to replace it. Nobody cares. Like, that's what it is. We are a species, and we're the smartest one there's been so far, which is why we felt the need to create all these things. Thank you, Layla. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't easy. I probably wouldn't have if I hadn't needed to. If I'm being honest with myself, it's a really hard thing to do, and I wouldn't have, most likely. I mean, I was already questioning things, but like, I wouldn't have gone as far as I did away if I hadn't been pushed. That was part of my sentence. Go to a Christian school and various religions, but I never liked it. I don't know. Sometimes it's probably annoying. Yeah. Well, God likes all of the credit and none of the blame. So, like, if no matter what like, if you're praying about a child dying and no matter what happens, you're going to praise God, I don't think that that's an argument for God. Child lives, yay, God let him live. Child dies, oh, that was part of his plan, though. He's a good God, so it was part of his plan, though. Just makes me sad. And Emily, I suggest you hide it. I wish I was raised atheist. I used to tell people I was raised atheist, so I would have... When I was in 6th grade, I told my best friend that I was atheist, knowing she was Christian. I wasn't even atheist. I just didn't fully believe it. Like, I didn't, in my heart, I knew that I could not believe it. And so I told her that I was an atheist so that she would try to convince me, even if I, in my own head, was not an atheist. Like, I told her that so that she would try and witness to me and prove a point. And I had done that a couple of times. And both times I'd, like, tried to convince myself that it was real. And I just needed it again, like, a year later. I, like, needed somebody to prove it. And then I would give myself an answer that I was satisfied with. I'd ask for signs and then make up that it had actually been something else that I missed. And it was, of course, my fault. Everything was my fault that he didn't show himself to me. Whatever. If you find yourself having to manipulate your own perception of reality to believe something you want to be true, please stop. My best friend in 6th grade actually made me, she was like, you have to tell your mom you're an atheist. And I was like, no, because I was lying. It turns out I wasn't lying. I just thought that I was lying because I was still so ashamed to say something like that about something like that. But I just convinced myself that it was a lie, and then when she told me to tell my mom that I was an atheist, I freaked out. I was like, I'll tell her last day of school. And then I moved away. Layla, tell me why. Hang on. No, I'm on stream. Stop. I can't text you without ending the fucking stream. Can't open. Layla, can you tell me why religious me scares you? I'm so curious. Oh. Yeah, I mean, I might be. Sometimes I think about that. Like, I'm 19, technically living in Texas, and it would be so easy to go back to, like, exactly what my parents, or not even my parents, but, like, society wanted me to do. It's terrifying, because I could make that decision today, and everything I've, like, fought for and everything I've gotten and all the love I've found would just be gone, and it's still a possibility. Like, I can't, it sounds so far away, but literally, if I could do it. And sometimes when things get hard, I'm like, why didn't I just fucking pretend to be straight? Like, it wasn't that bad. It was, but, you know, in the moment, you don't think about that. You did not tell me your local school burned down. Are you okay? Was anybody hurt? Citrus, I swear to God. Oh, it was a Sunday. Okay, good. Citrus, please. Shh. Yeah. Sometimes I still need that. I'm like, I get the fear of, like, going to hell, or it sounds simple when I say it like that, but when I still think about it, sometimes I get the fear of going to hell in my head. I'm like, well, what if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong? Even if everything I have ever heard or felt or said points to me being right, what if I'm wrong and I go to hell? And I thought about that, and I've been thinking, well, I'm gonna go to hell since I was like 7. That's why I accepted Jesus Christ at like 7 years old. Because I didn't want to go to hell. The moment I knew what it was, I was like, I better get out of there. And then the entire rest of my life, I was like, what if I get it wrong? What if I don't believe hard enough? What if I'm not doing good enough? What if I'm still going to hell, even though I've been baptized No. So, according to most Christians, hell would be alone. So, you would be just burning alone forever. It'd be a lot of property in hell, but, like, I don't think God really cares about the real estate costs. Houdini. What time is it? Let me see. 3:03. Yeah, well, that's what I thought. I was like, I could spend, because I'm doing bad here, the rest of eternity, like literally never ending, millions, billions, trillions, infinite years on fire, feeling it fully. Because what? What's on my arm? Quinn did henna. It's the Ellie tattoo. It's really cute. I love it. And I still have nightmares about it sometimes. The shame is real. Because you can't... If you're raised convincing yourself that you're unfathomably wrong for everything you do and everything you are from the time you're a little kid, no matter how much confidence you have in yourself on earth, like, you're like, well, I'm having a good time. I'm having a good life. I must be about to burn. Like, I literally, it feels right, therefore it is wrong, because my life is not about me. My life is not about me. My life is not mine. I've been told since I was 4 years old that I was bought and paid for by somebody dying on an irreversible death on a cross, which I guess he did reverse, but the fact that he did it can't be reversed. So I'm stuck unless I want to be the asshole about it and be like, no, I don't want your free gift of eternal love and sacrifice. So, those are your options. And then you go to church every Sunday and they're singing their songs about how you are a slave to God and you love it. You want to do nothing but die to your own self. See, my first reaction to that, Yella, is, no, he's not. Like, still in my brain, my first reaction to that is, no, he's not. I deserve it. I'm not one of the good ones. Everyone else might be. I believe that about everyone else, but not me. Because when you're a kid and you learn that, it's alone. Even if you don't believe it about everyone else. I'm being completely honest with you. I'm not trying to get reassurance and be like, tell me I'm a good person. That is my genuine gut reaction, is that I'd never make it. He would hate me. I don't believe that anybody else should burn in hell, but I probably should. For no particular reason. It's not like I have something in mind that's like, I've done some nasty shit. That's just how they twist self-esteem in children for some reason. If any of you turn out to be right, like if your religion is right and you are religious, put in a good word for me, okay? I believe that, Layla. Wholeheartedly, I do. Interestingly, that happened in the Bible once. Going to hell in most religions. I might as well add one more, you know? But it's a lot harder to shake the one you grew up in. See, I can't say deep shit if you are tweeting in the background like a maniac. Houdini is being a good boy. He's just munching. Thank you, Johan. Too awesome for hell. Well, if some people are right and it is just where all the gay people are going, then I'll end up there. I don't think... If it was real... Yeah, that's true, Layla. I don't think it could be based on, like, you know, individual choices. Like, I think if your soul is going to be judged, then it has to be an all... Let me think of how to put this, because this is just something I'm thinking of now. Like, if because I want to say it doesn't matter what you do on Earth, because that's just a speck in the wind, and it can be influenced by all sorts of things, and you know, your environment when your environment when you're born, your environment when you're growing up. It can be your just the way you're treated. It could be the things you see, and also so if that's the case, then it couldn't fairly be judged by that. So then what would possibly judge a soul? Because if a soul is created and then lives on Earth and then is decided heaven or hell, then at what point and how do you determine what soul gets into heaven? And also, if you created these souls, why would you create ones that you know wouldn't get into heaven? It would only make sense if it was actually a test on Earth, but everyone's is different. Therefore, hang on, I might just be creating religion backwards. Oh. I'm not a Christian, but I don't want to say anything. Yeah. No, yeah, there's a possibility I'm wrong. It's a scary one, but there is, I guess. I don't disrespect people who believe there's a God, because if you need comfort in your life from thinking that there's a God and thinking you're doing the right thing by following rules, then, you know, at least you're happier. I don't think there would be a point to sustaining souls that would end up in hell. Like, maybe everyone's going to heaven, and people just... If heaven was real, maybe everyone was going, and then somebody just made up that everyone wasn't. You're starting to question if you're straight. I didn't think you were straight originally, but I didn't know you or your relationships at all. Yeah, what we do now is all that matters. I think because I came to that conclusion a while ago, and I was like, well, that would still leave the possibility, but at what point in human evolution did God start to matter? Did God be like, you're human enough to qualify for either heaven or hell? You've met the brain criteria. Because we have a direct lineage backwards. We know that the theory of evolution is true. It's not like some people think this, some people hypothesize. The line you see of Darwin's chart of the apes slowly standing up is an oversimplified and stupid version of it, but that's kind of what happened. We have it exactly going backwards. We know what happened. If you choose to think it's a lie, that's weird, but that's on you. But we know what happened. So at what point in that, if you believe what is publicly known and publicly able to be proven, then at what point was God like, right there? That's the cutoff between animal and human. You get a soul. If I had a religious belief, I'm always struggling with that. Not at the moment. I will always listen to people who have their own religious beliefs. I respect people who don't use their religions to hurt others, and I respect those religions, but I might not have that for myself. I don't know. I'm scared to offend people, especially ones who aren't doing anything wrong. Like, if that's not enough to convince anybody of atheism, then I don't know what is. Unless you're raised in it and still have those feelings. I start college Monday. There are some feelings that are trained into you, and that's what I'm struggling with. So, like, the shame of it all that you don't realize is there, the fears that are still there because they were instilled into you as a child, that sort of indoctrination lasts with you. But, like, if you're born an atheist and then you hear that, I don't think there's a way you could be converted to Christianity. Unless you experienced a miracle. I've asked a lot of people if they've experienced miracles. Weirdly, all miracles seem to stop after the invention of the iPhone camera, but gonna show the bird. Bird 1. Bird 2. That little dot. You've said that like 6 times. I don't know how to find you a girlfriend, but maybe somebody in chat. Do you think someday you'll be Christian or Muslim? I don't know you. So I don't know about you, but I mean, everyone's path is different, everyone's journey is different, and everyone's beliefs are just a little bit different. Even if you go to a church that's like, everyone believes the same thing, there's some people who don't. And there's always going to be something small they disagree on. Every single person. Oh, do you think someday I will be a Christian or Muslim? No. I would have to experience a miracle. A real one. I stopped, because I was like, okay, Jesus supposedly the Son of God, right? Or everyone believes that he was God instilled, right? He's at least a prophet. It took us 30 years to kill him. What do you think we could do in 2,000 years to corrupt a book? Whatever your religious text is, there is a 99.9% chance that whatever you're reading has been changed over the last 1,000 years. And I know why. I've seen why. I've seen when. And I've seen who. It wasn't written in your language. If it wasn't originally written in your language and you cannot read the original language that it was written in, and you cannot read it from the original stones or paper it was written from, I don't think you should believe it. So let's go outside that. Let's not prove anything with the Bible or Quran or Torah or whatever. Show me any evidence. And if you point to a tree, I'm going to punch you. No, I won't. But anyways, I started listening to other people's testimonies because I was like, okay, I believe that people will not lie to me. If people have genuine experiences with God and they want to tell me about those things, if these are people that I love, if these are people that I trust, of course I believe that they are not lying to me. So what miracles have you experienced? What has God done in your life? I've asked people, and never once have I heard a response that made any sense or wasn't, like, I was like, okay, outside the Bible, what has God done in your life? I've heard, I had a dream I was reading Matthew, so I read Matthew. I've heard, I almost died in the hospital, but the doctors were able to save me. I've heard a lot of coincidences that are actually pretty likely in the scheme of things, but nothing that was impossible without spiritual influence. Nothing. So, if anybody actually has a miracle for me, and I have to know you, because people on the internet will lie and say they've experienced miracles so that I will believe their religion, and I know that because I was willing to do that when I was a Christian, thinking it was saving me. You don't have to lie. Listen to your actual head. You're smarter than you think. That might have been a ton of nonsense, but to me it made sense. Anyways. That was one of, I think, because I used to lead presentations in my class about why the Bible was corrupt. And this was not a safe place to do so. Like, literally every single person in the room disagreed with me. But I was a freshman in high school, and I didn't really care. So I was like, what do I have to lose? I'm not really close with any of these people. Like, I love them, but whatever. You know, I just want to prove that my friend being gay is not a sin over here. So I would lead presentations. And somebody goes, well, I don't believe that the Holy Spirit or God would let the Bible be corrupted. And I think one of the most badass things I've ever said was, it took us 30 years to kill the Son of God. And he allowed it. What do you think he would let us do in 2,000 years to a book? And I handed him the Bible. And 14-year-old me was very proud of herself. But anyways, start preaching the ways of locomotion. No, I probably still have some of those presentations where I was like, okay, your book doesn't make any sense anyway. And at the time it was our book. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. I'm taking a break from packing. I should get back to it though. My dopamine went up a lot from this. This is great. It wasn't actually that badass, but I thought it was badass. And I still think it is in the grand scheme of things that of all the things 14-year-old me could be doing, standing up in front of 20 people who disagreed and saying something like that with no remorse, regret, or fear in a place where women weren't even supposed to teach. I have a lot of respect for 14-year-old me. But anyways. Yeah, I led presentations every time. I was like, the teacher named it Friday Feud because I always had something to say. And he liked debates. And it would usually go on past when the class would end, so we could never finish them. And I was so upset. But one time I was like, there are contradictions in the Bible. And of course, everyone in the class was like, no, there's not. Sorry, I was reading the chat. And no, there's not. And I was like, okay. And then I pulled up a bunch of verses. I forget what they are. And then I was like, well, Adam and Eve weren't actually the first two people. First of all, that's a symbol for the first man and woman species. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Imagine you have a ton of kids. What are those kids going to do? They have no gene separation. Like, your species will die immediately if you only have two. And second, it says in the Bible that once Cain killed Abel, he couldn't leave without having a mark put on him because the others would kill him. They were supposedly the only 4 people in existence: Adam, Eve, Cain, and Abel, or maybe their older sister. Who were the others? We never know. But we can assume from that there were other people. So, you know. I hope my parents aren't hearing me do this. Well, I'm a Muslim and I don't believe that Jesus is God's son. Okay. And that he is good to people and that he's God, but to people who read the Bible, what the Bible do you believe? Read the Bible, what Bible do you believe? Because everyone has a different one. What I was supposed to use growing up was the ESV version of the Bible. I know Mormons use King James Version. Some churches, depending on the denomination, use either NIV or there's another one that I'm forgetting. All of them are different enough for it to not make sense, but similar enough that you're still holding the same piece of literature, technically. I'm really tall compared to Shannon Woodward. She called me tall, unprompted. I believe that all of them are flawed. The Bible was not originally written in English, and people preach about not taking... Oh my god, I'm gonna kill this bird. People preach about not taking Bible verses out of context, which I agree with. Don't do that. It's not cool, it's for your own benefit, and it's not what anyone who wrote it intended. Unfortunately, it's almost impossible to actually put those verses into context. You would have to understand the entire socioeconomical state of the world, the entire culture. They could be referencing somebody or something without you knowing what that is, because that's a culture and a reference that hasn't existed for thousands of years. And that's what we've found is happening in a lot of the Bible. And that's not true, Kenzie, but I'm proving your point right now, unfortunately. Okay, so, like, imagine if I said, me and the gang are going down to get some grub at that diner. If you were translating that, by definition, gang might mean something else to you. Like, that might mean that me and a bunch of ruffians and who have motorcycles are going down there to get a bunch of large insects from a diner. And that would not make any sense to you. But what I actually mean is, me and my friends are going to go eat. And so, using that logic, we can also determine that the Bible is... some of Jesus' teachings are not, but the Bible is outdated in the way that those teachings are presented. Because a lot of the messages are getting lost. Because, the things that are being referenced and the things that are being taught about don't exist anymore. Jesus was right about a lot of things. I can agree with that. I believe he was a real person who was right about a lot of things. But we will never know the full extent of his teachings because we do not understand them. It is almost impossible for us to understand them unless we have a time machine. The Quran is always the same, even if you get it from 2 different places. Okay, I think what you're meaning is there's one, version of the Quran. The Quran is also old. The Quran is very old, and people are still having to... If you have to have people interpret what they're saying and agree with certain interpretations, then your book is too old. It's not meant for mass consumption if the mass cannot consume it on their own. So, also, and I do not mean to offend anybody, Didn't Muhammad marry a 9-year-old? Or was she 6? Isn't that like canonical? I'm genuinely asking. I don't know how old Aisha was, but wasn't she a child? Oh, perfect. Okay. So I'm not gonna even take the route and say, this book is bad because somebody married somebody young, because that's already a given. What I am gonna say is that it was very clearly meant for power, if that was the type of thing that was able to happen for somebody who was in enough influential power to do something like that. Religion was made so that man could have more power than they should and assign it to somebody else. That tells you that the culture was not something we should follow, and that the ideas are corrupted because of the ideas of like, people are trying to recreate the culture that we had in biblical times. That's not okay. It was never okay. It wasn't just the times back then. Like, I hate that argument so much. It was never okay. Children used to be seen as tiny adults, not developing adults, right? So that's where a lot of our, unfortunately, but I feel like culture comes from. Because part of it was that we didn't know, and part of it was that we didn't care that children were not just small adults. They were not adults. They were children. That's why babies in paintings have, like, it's like babies in paintings have, like, fully developed bodies mostly, especially the boys. They just look like an adult and you went, Nyeh. So that's how they were viewed. And if there was no difference between, you know, a young teenager's body and an adult's body, they didn't really care. Because they didn't know, and they didn't really care to look. They found what they found attractive and they ran with it. That's not okay, and we know that now. We always kind of knew that, but not enough people knew that for it to matter. Not enough of the right people knew that to care. You want to debate with me? About what? What's your side, Kim? Anything? I'm down for that. It's alright, Kenzie. There's still going to be a VOD. It's not one chance for a lifetime. We're friends. You can debate me. I might have a debate stream. I'm the next Dean Withers. Okay, rules for debate stream. You have to disagree with me on something. The rest of you will be the jury. We're hopefully moving past it. I feel bad for a lot of religious people. They've been poisoned by the people, like, they're victims. A lot of them are victims being told that they are heroes. And I was too. A victim being told that they are a hero and continuing to be a hero is the only way that they will feel okay means that they won't realize they're a victim. They think they're a hero on a journey, which makes them a villain. I said what I said. You're not healing. You're just spreading. What is Layla responding to? Oh, yes. Dean Withers. I love him. My king. Religion is a cult. Some are cultier than others. If people are... A cult consists of people possibly asking you for money, tithing, trying to control you. God is always watching. And not letting you leave that. As in, you will go to hell. It's a cult. Religion is a fungus. That's how I see it. Can the other debate be on call? Yeah, sure. I'm a debater in the making. I wanted to be for so long. The first thing I ever wanted to be as a child was a debater, because I watched the people debating on evolution and creation, and I was like, I want to get in there. I was like 6, and I was like, I want to get in there, because I have some thoughts on this. Well, you guys aren't seeing this whole other perspective that maybe it was both. And it was a terrible take, but like, at least it was new. It was something that no one was saying. You debate on TikTok sometimes? Maybe I'll start there. I just don't want to debate strangers. Not really. Unless I can, like, see them. You know? If I made another account for debate... Because then people will try to debate my personal lives. I respect Dean Withers a lot. Because he's putting himself, he knows his stuff, and he is putting himself out there. Like, I don't know if that's something I can do. I can put myself out there in some ways, but I don't want to put myself out there in a way that makes me a target more than I already am, you know? At least not at this point. Maybe when I'm a little bit older, and I have a little bit less to lose. By stranger, I mean somebody whose name I've never seen, somebody's opinions I've never heard, somebody whose background I'm completely unfamiliar with. So, like, Kenzie's not a stranger. I've interacted with her before. Somebody who just clicks join, I've never even seen their username, is a stranger. Can't win is the ethicals of veganism. Yeah. We all kind of know that veganism is the more ethical choice. But we choose to ignore it. I have you time to clean? Yeah, it probably is. I might call our group chat, though, so we can keep talking. Kong versus Godzilla. Alright. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go, guys. It has been an hour and 30 minutes. Damn, almost exactly the same length as yesterday. Look who's making good time. I'm gonna have to clean. But I'm trying to talk out the clock so it makes it almost exactly, but I will catch you guys on the flip side. See you in a few more seconds. See you all in hell.